Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm Reverend Sharon Dunn, Senior Minister here at the Sacramento Center for Spiritual Living. And we have a couple of housekeeping items before we get started. And one of them is that we will be recording this service, this celebration, so that we can share it on social media and share ourselves in as many ways as we can, whether it be virtually or in person or later or much later. We archive our services on our website. So that's amazing. Speaking of websites, we have a genius amongst us, Jaime, who does our website and our design. And it is something I'm very proud of. Not only does it look great, by the way, those are my photographs, but it lets you know everything we're doing, our classes, our events, what we believe. If you want to know what's going on, or if you want to send a friend to the website to better understand what we believe, it's right there. You don't have to try to explain it. You can just say, go to the website and do that pull down menu. And so that kind of makes it easy. And it also is a really good way to donate, because you can just very conveniently go on our website and donate so that we can be in this beautiful space and have our staff and our technology and our guests. So the other thing we do is we put our services on YouTube. So like us, subscribe, that'd be great. And we actually have a very special treat. We have a couple of very special things we're doing today. We have guest speakers, guest musicians, and we're going to bring the Board of Trustees up here right now. So if you would come up and join me. And it looks like everyone's here. My goodness. And I may seem surprised by that. They're always here. But we have spent the last 3 days together and we're pooped. Are we not? We are tired. We are good tired. We are very good tired. We had one of the best retreats I have ever been to, because I didn't have to facilitate the retreat. We are in abundance, and you all sent us on retreat so that we could get filled up and keep going and doing what we're doing. Here is the thing. We had a facilitator, and that was genius. We have been transformed, and we had fun, food, adulting. We had activities, we played games, and we didn't do anything frivolous, actually. In other words, the game we played was also transforming. The name of the game was Transformation. And so everything that Suzanne Baldwin, our facilitator, did was extraordinary. It was very moving, very revealing. I had a couple of ahas, and I don't know where our sign is. Is it? I left it at home. We left it at home. Well, our theme was recommit, realign, and revitalize. And at the 3 R's. And when I first got there, I thought it didn't do anything for me. It was just nice 3 words, yay. But that's what happened to me. I recommitted to my ministry. I realigned to my source, and I revitalized my love for being a minister of God's work. And I just feel like, oh my gosh, I want to do this and I want to do that. I really feel all of those R's worked in my life, and that was because of our brilliant facilitator. So I'm going to have each of us just come up quickly and share with you what we got out of it. One other thing about this board, I've been on other boards before in other organizations. This is a very loving board. This is a board that when we disagree or when we have conflict, we use our tools and they work. And we grow deep into our love for one another. And because of that, the community will have that experience with each other. So he's got a real gift here.
Oh, you know what I'm talking about.
I'm Ruth Hall, I'm the president of the board. Thank you. And I just wanted to share what was so important to me for this retreat was that we gave ourselves the gift of time. And that by being together in that time, the ideas, the connection, the absolute wonderful experience that we had it can't be done on Zoom. It can't be done in a short meeting that happens for a couple of hours. It's something that happens in that time that we had together, not only learning and playing, but just having time to sit together and talk together and get to know each other better. That is the one-on-one, the in-person that's so important. And I think that's why we are so committed to having in-person services like this, in-person celebrations, because it just cannot be repeated. It can't be done virtually. And it's such a difference to be able to be in person with those people that are in our community. So I am so appreciative of that time.
For me, probably the most meaningful was I wouldn't even say reconnect, because I'm pretty new to this board, but to connect. And as we said, you can't do that in a 1 or 2 hour meeting. You can't do that in a meeting. And all the sessions were great. And yet for me, most meaningful was connecting with people on a deeper level. And that was very exciting and very real. And it's very, as Sharon said, I think it's a tremendously loving group. And the only silly thing we did at the end was we had a new kind of s'mores. We hadn't taken advantage of the fire pit that night we were going to do that. So we did it our last thing before we left the location, and it was fun. It was fun too, I should say.
Yes, good morning. Oh my God, I had such a good time. And I feel realigned, reconnected, recovered. And it's just a great time. I had so much food. I mean, I couldn't even eat dinner the last time because I had so much food. That was all great. And then the one disappointment that, and Rick brought it up, was we didn't get to the pool. And I never saw the pool. And then I went and was peeking at it and oh, darn it. That we had just had too much fun and time got away. We did good. We had a great time. Thank you.
Hello. I am still thinking and sorting and processing. There's a lot of work. I got to room with Margie. And actually, that's who I said I wanted to room with. I had a room with her. So I was happy to talk about where'd you go? Yeah, I like her. She's a little unconscious. And yeah, there was good team building and for me, it was a lot of work, and that's what you have to do to build a team. You have to sort things out, get to things, come to conclusions, and I haven't done all that yet, but all the groundwork is laid. And so I just feel like nothing but good is going to come from all of this.
They talked about all the fun. Let's talk about the work. Suzanne Baldwin may have her license on retired, but she's a practitioner and she's got a practitioner's card, and that was behind everything we did.
The first day we read what we believe. And the second day we read as a group what we teach. So everything was grounded in what are we doing here? We looked at our vision and our mission and our purpose, not to change it, because it's a great vision, mission, and purpose. But it's why are we here? Why do people come? What gives a sense of belonging and community? Now that we're in this transition between social media and Zoom and in person, it's a whole new world out there. How are we going to build this new community and a new world? And we did the traditional thing of break up into groups and have all these sheets of paper and our markers are going like crazy. Out of that came a lot of raw material for us to work with. And I love that line about conflict. There was no conflict. And Neil Delphi was just an amazing, deep conversation. And yeah, there was a little wine going around, but it just opened up for a lot of laughter and fun. And we ended up with really pretty journals, because everything we did, we then got to sit and reflect on it. What does it mean to me? What am I going to do with this? And I think that's what you want your board to do, to be grounded in our teaching, grounded in our beliefs, grounded in our own vision, mission, and purpose, and really looking at how we relate as individuals and how we relate as a group to that context and live in that community. And it was fabulous. Thank you all. Look.
So it's my pleasure, my honor, my privilege, my excitement to introduce our special guests that you know because they're part of our family. They're going to do something different today. So Bev Barnett and Greg Newland are going to bring us Create the Colors of Your Life. They're going to do not only the music, but they're going to give us their message. And that is something that I cannot wait for. So images are powerful. Just a little bit about them. Visualizing the prosperity and abundance you want for your life is the beginning of co-creating that reality with spirit. Bev Barnett and Greg Newland will take us on an inspirational journey through the pictures they've painted for their lives with powerful testimony of the power of visualization and affirmation. Please welcome Bev Barnett and Greg Newland. Water gives me power. It's so wonderful to be with you all today. We're going to sing this invocation to bring us all into this secret space. This is what I know, that we are all connected. The universe reflected in each shining part. And everywhere I go, I recognize the faces. All of my relations in this one heart. And all I need is already looking through these eyes. Nearer than my breathing, closer than hands and feet, we are dreaming together all the gifts of heaven and earth. And so I receive all I can be, and now I let go with such appreciation, with sheer exhilaration. Now I set it free, and so it is, so be it. When I sing it, I can see it. I welcome us in, and now we begin.
a fitting opening for for all of us, for every moment, but especially for this gift from us to you, because that was written by a woman named Jan Garrett. And Jan Garrett and Jane Martin are dear friends of ours that Greg knew many years ago, back in the 70s in Aspen, and we reconnected with them. In 2002, Greg just looked up Jerry Durstein on the internet and found out it's not Jane Martin, and he had written all these top 10 hits in Nashville, and so he sent him an email. I didn't even write back. I forgot when they were, and he said, we're gonna be there in a couple of months singing at a place called the Center for Spiritual Living in San Jose. Come back this up. So they stayed with us. And that started a friendship and a journey of us towards his teaching. So thank you, Jan and Jane. And thank you for that beautiful entrance. I'd like to ask you to join me to start this off in a guided meditation. And so what I'd like you to do is just settle into your chair. Feel yourself supported in the chair. Close your eyes as you are ready and willing to do so. And take a deep breath in. And let it out. Breathe in. And let it out. The presence of divine grace is flowing through each one of us. Feel yourself supported in your chair. We are fully supported by divine grace. Breathe. As you focus on your breath, feel it cool as you breathe in, and warm as you let it out slowly. Breathe in and let it out. Picture a place now where you feel completely loved, completely supported, and completely peaceful. What do you see? Picture it. Picture yourself in that place. And breathe. How does it feel? Is the air warm? Is it cool? Is it breezy? Is it still? Feel it. And breathe. Who else is there? See them. And breathe. closer than our breathing, nearer than hands and feet. We are dreaming together all the gifts of heaven and earth. And so we receive all we can be. As you feel ready, bring yourself back to this place, still fully supported, and open your eyes as you are. Ah, how does that feel? Yes. Greg and I are what I call spiritual nuts. We love to take and breathe and live all kinds of spiritual traditions, and we spend a bit of time at the Kriya Yoga Temple in San Jose, and that meditation has become a really luscious and rich part of our lives. So today, we're going to explore, pull this off. All right, we're going to explore the picture of what we truly want. The vivid, inspiring, divine plan that we know is ours because our lives are full of infinite possibility. And images are powerful. So in that guided meditation, we imagined a place where we were fully supported, where we were peaceful. We called on our imaginations to take us to that place, and it was our choosing to be there. We took a look into that, a little bit deeper into that powerful message from our friend in that wonderful song. All I need is already seen through these eyes, nearer than my breathing and closer than hands and feet. We are dreaming together all the gifts of heaven and earth. And so I receive all I can be. So when we imagine something, we paint a picture with our minds. Our imagination is our superpower. It's an incredibly powerful tool that allows us to visualize something that doesn't currently exist. And with that picture in our minds, we can start making it a reality. We can co-create that reality in the spirit. And fully supported by divine grace, we get to create vision and paint that picture on an unlimited canvas. Lou Ruth is going to start a video for me that I wanted to show you. There's an artist named Eva Callahan that I follow on Instagram. She's a collage artist. And I love watching this because it's the layers, right? That the picture that we paint for ourselves includes those kinds of layers, right? On top of each other. And the layers include the experiences, the textures that we've stored up over a lifetime. Sometimes we start out with something that we think that's just the right way to go, and then we think, well, I'm gonna cover that one up. I'm gonna do something else. Some of the things that some of those layers of our lives might be some baggage that we've been carrying around, maybe that fear and that doubt. But the layers of our lives all contribute to the big picture, to our glorious, beautiful picture. That was it. If we, as you saw towards the end, right, there were some of those beautiful markings in the beginning that were covered at the end, right? If we hold on to those things too tightly,
We never get to experience the big picture, even if they seem like I can't have this at the time. This is my biggest, this is why I don't do collage. This is my biggest problem. I never get this. It's that fear that it comes in is like, well, what if I'm not ready for the next? What if I go down this road and it's too big a risk? What if I lose my job? What if I can't pay the mortgage? Part of taking the risk is daring to dream, to imagine, to paint that picture for ourselves, and then to know that truth for ourselves, and to be able to recognize when the steps unfold that we need to follow. So Bob McKim was a researcher at Stanford in the 60s and 70s, and he founded Stanford's human-centered product design program. And there's a wonderful TED talk on creativity that references an exercise that Bob McKim used to use in his classes, where he'd ask people to reach down underneath their seat and find a pad of paper and a pencil, and quickly, in 30 seconds, draw a picture of the person next to you. Now, I'm not going to make you do it, but I thought. But here's the thing that would happen every time he did this with adults. It revealed a fear of judgment. Inevitably, we would get done with the 30 seconds and one person would turn to the next and go, I'm so sorry. It's that fear of judgment that happens to us at some point on our growth path, right? From childhood. Children do not have this fear. Ask a child to draw a picture of you. And they will eagerly show you their masterpiece and to everyone who will look at it. Please meet Mr. Potato. Mr. Potato Man, sorry. The proper title is Mr. Potato Man, AKA Papa. He loves potatoes. Yes, the artist is the lovely, lovely Aubrey Conley. Here's what I think. This problem or this issue can go deeper than the fear of judgment. Sometimes we're afraid to even show ourselves the picture of our dreams. We think, well, this can never happen. I'm asking for too much. Someone else deserves it more than me. Someone else has already thought of that idea. I might not be good at it. I have said all of these things to myself over time. Mary Mann Morrissey teaches, and Greg Bergen took her Dream Builder course years ago, that we should come from our dreams rather than moving toward them. Because, and you know, it may seem confusing at first, right? This hasn't happened yet, so how can I act that way? But when you unpack that a little bit, the future is always the future, and now is always now. So if we're always moving towards something, how will we get there? So we act as if that dream is ours today, and then we can recognize when the steps unfold that take us on the journey. And when we have a dream, and when we follow our hearts, and when we know what we want, when we know that the one force for good in the universe is conspiring on our behalf, it is much easier to recognize the opportunities to move that dream forward along the path that unfolds with ease and in perfect time. So Greg and I wrote a song a few years ago that kind of sums that up when he's going to come up here and do his magic. When you do what you love and you trust what you know, you'll grab the brass ring when you finally let go. And when you know what you love and you trust what you do, you'll set your sights high. It's all waiting for you. Get it out of your head and open your mind.
you'll know what you need and what to leave behind. There's no better time. You're on the right track. Take a deep breath, 'cause there's no turning back. And when you do what you love and you trust what you know, you grab the brass ring when you finally let go. And when you know what you love and you trust what you do, you set your sights high, it's all waiting for you. The power is yours. Once you decide, you gotta hold tight, 'cause you're in for a ride. Say it out loud, yeah, give it a name. Ask for a spark, and you're in for a flame. When you do what you love, and you trust what you know, you'll grab the brass ring when you finally let go. When you know what you love and you trust what you do, you'll set your sights high, it's all waiting for you. When you do what you love and you trust what you know, you'll grab the brass ring and you'll finally let go. And when you know what you love and you trust what you do, you set your sights high, it's all waiting for you. When you do what you love and you trust what you know, when you do what you love and you trust what you know, when you do what you love and you trust what you know, you'll grab the brass ring and you finally let go. So here's how we know that's true. Bear with me a little bit because life comes with a lot of twists and turns. Okay. So elementary through high school, I'm all about music, 100% focused on music. And I thought that that's how I would spend my life. But when I told my dad that I wanted to be like this woman he worked with who had really cool clothes and drove a really cool sports car, he said, you want to study marketing. So it turns out that a degree in marketing actually requires that you pass economics. So I switched to public relations. And I ended up in Silicon Valley. And in my early technology public relations career, I was responsible for explaining to reporters from PC Magazine to the Wall Street Journal what Ethernet was. I loved it. Fast forward a lot of years, meeting Greg, it brought music rushing back into my life in a way that I couldn't ignore. And ever since then, that's been 20 plus years, I've had one foot firmly in each of these areas. High-tech marketing, music, marketing, music, the excess of Silicon Valley, being in the homes of the people that you read about on their here on the news, being in the homes of beautiful people who love to present folk music. And it's a wonderful, wonderful experience. You know, after we got married, I was consulting with early stage startup companies, and we'd be on the road driving. Greg would be driving. I'd be in the passenger seat with a laptop and modem, and he'd be out 80, outbound, down 10, up 5, wherever we were going, sharing our songs in house concerts and venues and spiritual singers. And inevitably, during one of these times, someone would come up to us afterwards and say, "Can you really make a living in this?" If you're ever tempted to say that to a musician, keep it to yourself because it's not helpful. But the answer is a lot of people do. A lot of people can and they do, absolutely. They just don't live. in Silicon Valley, in the most expensive place in the country like we did. So while my work as a marketing consultant gave us the flexibility to pursue music, it wasn't easy to keep things in balance in the long run. So the housing debacle of 2009 left us exhausted, emotionally and financially. We let go of the home that we bought when we brought our blended family together in 2002. Right, we filed bankruptcy. We became renters in one of the most expensive markets in the country. And we were paying almost as much for healthcare as we were for rent. So meanwhile, though, the universe was starting to kick into gear on our behalf. Because even though I hadn't yet fully realized, it had my back. God had my back. The friend referred me to a new contract. It was a twist on what I'd been doing and I loved it. So it was kind of new, became a new career path for me. It was awesome. There was a health plan. I got hired full-time as the contract with, which came with the health plan. And a few years later, I was laid off. Such as Silicon Valley, it was not the first time, right? And I was so convinced, like, okay, well, I like this job and I like the health plan, we're gonna go get another job. So, and the environment at that company had become so toxic that I was grateful to be out of there. I'm like, okay, this is the path. Like I see it, this is the way we're going, but, and I thought it would be so easy. So maybe it was ageism, maybe it was the environment, maybe it was my weird resume, maybe it was just me, but it wasn't that easy to just go step and do another job. I knew that I could go back to contracting, to consulting. That was something I knew. I'd done it for so long. But I also knew that from kind of starting that process to having money coming in was going to be at least 60 days. That's just the way things work. But all through this, we still felt supported. There were so many things that happened during this time. We'd be here all day if I would tell you all the blessings that we had in the oh my gosh, moments of knowing that we were fully supported. We knew that all was well. We knew it in our hearts. I know all is well, every step is true. Living in the heart of God, every breath is new. I know all is well, every step is true. Living in the heart of God, every breath is new. And every falling raindrop is a miracle. Every rising sun will show the way. The universe conspires to shower blessing, accept its sacred magic every day. I know all is well, every step is true. Living in the heart of God, every breath is new. I know So just because all was well doesn't necessarily mean it was easy. Turned out that was a pretty lean year, and for our first grandson's first birthday, we gave him a box. Covered it with contact paper, and he loved it above every other huge toy he got at that party. Trust me, no matter how much money you have, get the 1-year-old a box. It's become a tradition in our family. So I turned my focus back to consulting work. I'm like, okay, I've got to start this. It's gonna be at least 60 days to some revenue. We got to get going. So I did that. In the meantime, I've been making some really cool jewelry out of the guitar strings that we were changing all the time. And I started getting these guitar strings from the guitar store, and we were selling those in street fairs. And I love making things from things other people think are just trash. I got that from my mom who makes paper, right? So it started on this whole journey. But that wasn't gonna be the path, right? We were scrimping on everything else, we were keeping our bills going, but eventually we found ourselves with just enough money for about a month. So what else did we have? We had an 1891 Steinway upright grand piano that appraised for $10,000. No one wants those anymore. But we also had a guitar, we had a garage full of stuff. Lots of stuff. Greg said, we should get rid of this stuff in case we have to move really quickly. Now what you have to understand is that it wasn't just our stuff. Greg's parents had passed years earlier, and we still haven't gone through a lot of that stuff. And it wasn't just their stuff, they had taken care of a couple of other women in their retirement area who had left all their stuff to them. So this was lots of stuff. But among that stuff, we remembered that there was a box, one of those plastic boxes about the size of a shoebox. And we knew that there was like old Masonic pins and some watches and some jewelry. And so we're like, okay, wait, let's find that one first, right? That could be something. And we both remembered that in that box, there was a little jar about the size of, looked kind of like that salt shaker you see on the diner with the thick glasses, about that size. We were both thinking the same thing, but we didn't say it yet. We're going, there was something shiny in that jar. So we found the box, we opened it up, there was the watches, the jewelry in that small salt shaker sized jar, and that own unspoken thought we both had was right. In that small bottle were gold nuggets. Gold nuggets. So we took that jar down to the We Buy Gold store, and the guy behind the tempered glass punched out some numbers on his calculator and held it up behind the glass and said, "How's this?" It was just under $7,000. If you have stuff in your garage, go shopping. Shop in your garage. Came at a time when all our resources were exhausted, and we had no idea how we were going to pay our rent for more than a month. I'm grace connection. And we were grateful. We're grateful for everything.
Get everything I wanted, so much more than what I need. Everywhere I look, I see a million little seeds. Hope and peace and blessing that will bloom again in spring. Thank you for the everything.
I'm thankful for the lessons that have shaped who I've become. I welcome all the twists and turns that have not yet begun. In gratitude and blessing, oh, let our voices ring to thank you for the everything. way to Jesus, or to the new gods. There's a great big congregation, giving all a quiet night. And Abraham and Buddha will remind us what to bring. Thank you for everything.
We need a little grateful, we need a little more.
Somebody to remind us just what we're living for. Take a moment to be grateful. Take a moment just to say thank you for the air.
Take a moment to be grateful. Take a moment just to sing.
Thank you for the air and everything. Thank you,
Thank you.
thank you, thank you for the everything. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the everything. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for the everything. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for the everything. If I'd been on the fence about what can happen when you do what you love and you trust what you know, if I was not fully convinced that all was well, if my heart wasn't 100% rooted in gratitude for every twist and turn, that little bottle of gold nuggets pretty much convinced me. And that was just the beginning of the story. It was about that time that I decided that all those years we'd been singing songs in Centers for Spiritual Living that I should probably take the foundations course. So I did. And one of the most memorable outcomes for me was when we created our affirmation. And had to focus on one thing, which was hard for me because I want everything. So trusting that if you focus on the one thing, everything else follows, I said, okay, financial stability, I'm ready for it, this is it. I affirmed it over and over and over. And I started to make sure what my lives would be like. The right job with the right company that valued what I brought to the table, that allowed me the time and flexibility to continue creating, exploring, writing music, singing music, performing music with Greg, creating things that came from trash. And being a true daughter of Silicon Valley, I imagined that company would have not yet gone public. So the full picture was this: owning a home again, a sustainable future of Greg, freedom to create, a place for our grandchildren to come and visit, maybe some toys in addition to the box. And once I had the picture and claimed my good, things just rolled. One spring day in 2018, I arrived for a round of interviews at a mid-sized software company in Palo Alto. I'd been consulting with them, and so they said, we'd like to hire you, come in and interview. And as I walked through the building, I hadn't been working in the building, right? I'd been remote. I walked into the building, and those signs you see for like when someone loses a dog and you pick up, or gardening work, pick up something. They're all over the office. Except the things you're picking off are things like you bring joy to those around you. The day is better because you're here. And the idea was to pull one of those off and put it on your coworker's desk. Where was I? Did I get the job? Of course I did. Grateful for that first hire. It was a great place to work. I felt valued. I started a new meditation group that was well received. That summer, our interns from across the country were introduced to meditation, and one of them went on to work for the calm.com now. There was a little twist though, right? They hadn't yet gone public, right? That was great. But But when we were about to go public, a few days before that bell was supposed to ring on Wall Street, we got acquired. Now, if you've ever worked in this situation or even on just any big project that just kind of got canceled or got changed, you just feel like the whole wind sucked out of you. But here's what's interesting about it. People around me were feeling that. People were uncertain what's going on, but I didn't feel any of that. I felt intrigued, excited. What is this next step? Here was the next step. We didn't just get acquired by any big, corporation. We got acquired by a big public software company that is number 4 on Fortune magazine's best place to work. A company that has since been added to the list of the most ethical companies in America. Of course we did. At this point, we're still living in Silicon Valley and the rent is still going up and I'm grateful for the job and I'm still grateful for the gold nuggets and I'm grateful we can pay the bills and confident in the picture. But I'm still looking for that long-term financial stability because we're still in Silicon Valley. So the clarity of knowing what we wanted led us to this next step is that we needed to relocate. We needed to find a place where we could have that stability. So both before I asked the question in this wonderful new environment, what would it be like if I was 100% remote working? Now remember, this was the fall of 2019, before everyone else had to. And they said, if you feel that you want to do that and it works for you, it works for us. So yes. So that the next layer, grateful for all these layers. So, that the prices in Silicon Valley had skewed our perspective. We weren't sure we were going to stay in California until we found this beautiful area here, east of Sacramento. And we fell in love and we bought our house. And that was the beautiful unfolding of the continuing of the colors of this beautiful masterpiece. And here's it really begins. There's always more. Greg's daughter they were up in Petaluma, they'd been thinking the same thing, where could they find a sustainable place to raise their kids? And so they moved to Folsom before we even closed on the house in Citrus Heights. So that was the picture, owning the home, the future with Greg, freedom to create, a place for the grandchildren to visit, to play with boxes and paint pictures like Mr. Potato. And now that picture continues to expand and into art, into my vision for what I'm doing with all this stuff that I make out of trash. And I, sometimes the vision unfolds slowly, and sometimes it comes faster than you ever think that it would. So I did on Sacramento Open Studios last month, and just because I wanted to put my foot around and start. Let's just start, right? It was wonderful. The great showings this month were there. Thank you so much for being there. And I started to think, okay, I'm envisioning a dedicated studio space. I'm envisioning my art painting gallery. We'll see where that goes. Well, the Tough Shed truck came 2 weeks ago and started, the structure of my new studio in the backyard. Just about the time Greg was envisioning having his own space in the house that was not filled with all of my stuff. And one of my handmade paper texture pieces that I had thrown into the table, I don't know, is it good enough? I just put a bunch of paper together, just got accepted into a juried art exhibition. And it blew. So, divine grace in action. The colors of our lives that we just, when we recognize and we affirm, the path just unfolds and all we have to do is follow. Yogacharya Ellen Grace O'Brien, who was an acclaimed teacher in the Kriya Yoga tradition, says, spiritual practice is the way we cooperate with the powers of nature in the presence of divine grace. Cooperation. trust it all as well, knowing and claiming what is ours by picturing it. Because as Jane Garrett wrote in that beautiful opening song, when I sing it, I can see it. And when we see it, we can be it. Please join me in prayer. Spirit flowing through each one of us. I feel the divine grace. I feel the power of nature, colors, shapes, textures, blending perfectly into the picture that we create together. I am ready. I am excited for what's next. Knowing that I am supported and all is well and in perfect balance. I recognize and am grateful for each layer as the masterpiece unfolds. And so it is.
This is supposed to be our offering time. And all I can think of is this is my gratitude time. The beautiful art that you have made, you too have made of your life, just touches me so deeply. I'm so grateful that you're part of our community. So in gratitude, I offer you the opportunity to give in support, in sacred service to this space that holds such love and such creativity and such joy. This is the flow of abundance, giving and receiving, giving and receiving. And you gave so much, and I have received so much. And therefore I will give. And encourage you to do that same thing. Keep that energy flowing. How you feel. Keep that avenue open and flowing. You can give by the baskets being sent around. If you are on YouTube or on Zoom, you can go to our website and press the donate button. And you can also send us a check if you like that tangible piece of paper going in. PO Box is on our website, so it's easy. Thank you in advance for all that you give in support of us and the wonder that we bring to you, because the wonder comes to us. It flows. We have an abundant affirmation that is behind me on the screen. So say with me, if you will. Abiding by the law of circulation and in heartfelt gratitude, I affirm that I believe in the creative and abundant universe that continuously flows in, through, and out at the speed, expressing as the ever expanding infinite good. And so it is. If anyone has a prayer request, you can also go to our website, and there is a prayer request line. We have a team of practitioners that loves to treat and support you in your good, in your ever expanding good. And we know everything that comes before us is a step on our ever expanding good and your ever expanding good. So give us your prayers. We would love to support you. Announcements. As you know, we meet in person the first, third, and fifth Sundays,
Today is the third Sunday. This month has 5 Sundays. So 2 weeks from now, please join us here. And Debbie Putnam is going to be our speaker. And those, I think everybody knows Reverend Debbie. She is a delightful teacher and speaker, so come join us. And rumor has it that we'll be doing poetry. And I have it on good authority that rumor happens to be true. So the second and fourth Sundays, we're on Zoom. Always, whether we're on Zoom or live, it always gets posted to YouTube. So we thank our YouTube audience for being part of us, however far away that you are. We love you and we're grateful for you. So the biggest thing coming up is in November. We're going to have an auction. And in the back table, there are some incredible fabric art that Bev has done using natural materials. And she has donated one of her scarves as being one of the auction items. So please think about what auction items you would like to donate and think of your Christmas list. Who needs something really wonderful and special, because you'll find it. But in addition, it's going to be the third Sunday in November, so it's one of our live Sundays. So in addition to the auction, we're going to have a Friendsgiving celebration. So bring a friend, bring a dish that speaks to your family's celebration of this time of year. It doesn't have to be Thanksgiving necessarily, but this fall time of the year, because it always changes. You know, those of you who are raised outside of, San Diego, that has the same weather all year round. The weather changes means the food that we eat changes. So bring something that celebrates that change, and bring a friend, introduce them. We want to meet your friends, so bring them. So now I'm going to bring Bev and Greg back up for the affirmation and our closing song, and then we'll do a benediction after that.
Okay. We've done this here with you guys, and you can get up and move around. You don't have to be stuck in those chairs. We're going to do a little bit of dancing.
Dance as if nobody's watching you. Smile as if the whole world seems to care. Love like it's the first time you wrote a song and made it rhyme. Dance as if nobody's watching you. Dance as if nobody's watching you.
Let the sunshine slip into the blinds. Wake up to the song you have heard 1,000 times. The little bird is never known. It whispers in your ear. There's a new day there for you.
Dance as if nobody's watching you. Smile as if the whole world seems to care. Look like it's the first time you wrote a song and made it rhyme. Dance as if nobody's watching you. Dance as if nobody's watching you. Do you really dare to dream so wide? Free and without limits, you'll feel just like a child. Bright colors fill the palette of your days. You don't need to know the ending to nobody's watching you. Dance as if nobody's watching you. Smile as if the whole world seems to care. Love like it's the first time you wrote a song and made it rhyme. Dance as if nobody's watching you. Dance as if nobody's watching you.
Can we switch back to the affirmation real quick, please?
Absolutely.
Isn't that lovely? Repeat after me if you would. I feel the power of nature and I see my life as a masterpiece. When we dance when no one's watching, as if no one's watching, there is the one that holds us all. That ineffable, infinite, loving presence that always holds, supports, encourages, and just wants to express as the unique individual that we are, that I am. There's that in me that is infinite, and its joy is to be me, and its joy is to be you, and it delights. The universe delights in the creativity that we have and use in creating the masterpiece that is our lives. Each and every one of us has this glowing, leaping life inside. It is ours to use, to share, to recognize, to own, to be. And it's good. It is so, so very good. And for all this and more, I give thanks. And I take my masterpiece out into the world. And I love it. And so it is. Thank you for being with us.